Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the Dredge arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more Dredge to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Mr. Doktor, and this is the Banner Saga. It is a game I wanted to play for years. And finally, I'm doing it. There are already 3 parts of this game, and this is the first one. But hey, I have finally time to do so. So let's go right into this game. The Banner Saga. Episode number 1. You are approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eirik, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? It is. The governor tells me you'll be giving us a hand. What did you have in mind? Skullfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall, scattered after you took out their chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. Click the market tent to visit the merchant. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-face houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap in a briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Hud, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Skullfings chieftain bled out about an hour ago, Hud. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, nobody's going to try to kill you this time. I don't talk to. They don't talk to me. Eirik needs some help here. Hud, I had a change of heart. I hope you do give us a hard time. Hud sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everybody thinks I'm getting worked over every week, How am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? How about we intimidate him? You motion to Gunnulf, your enormous bodyguard, who looms over the man like a snake over a mouse. Gods, Heilig, laying it in a bit heavy, don't you think? Where are the Skulfings? Noblemen, up by East Wall, but that was months ago. Last I know. Hud skulks away with a wave of Eirik's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gunnulf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, just bought them while you were walking around. Why? You look like a frog. No. They look good. I'm glad you care. Gunnulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eirik, that man of yours seemed unreliable, at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Hud, but he used to be Skulfing. If they're licking their wounds, they've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a meat hall. Best I can tell, the name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Where is this place again? Nobleman is halfway up the hill, towards the Great Hall. You won't miss it. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. Okay. Here is the name, so I don't have to look for it. You arrive in front of what must be Nobleman. A few minutes later, Eirik appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eirik says over his shoulder. Ready? Let's get it over if you're walking through the front door. Let's get it over with. That's the spirit, says Valgard. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eirik is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken Skulfings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and meat steins in the process. I see. A fight. Okay, here's the thing. At the very beginning of the game, there was a little bit of a tutorial. How the fighting system works. I didn't include it in this first episode. Well, you learn it by playing, basically. But I was hoping for more of a fight than this. But basically it is, we take turns. The red ones are enemies, the blue ones are friendlies. So I'll begin, then there's an enemy, it's me again, enemy, me, enemy, and so on and so forth. To the blue tiles I can walk. To the golden tiles I need willpower. But I won't do that right now. So let me walk up, let's say, one tile. And then I will end my turn. Or I could use stone wall. Why not? So I'm not in the reach to meet an enemy. If I'm in reach, then the enemy tile, the red one, will blink. So I could also go up, let's say, one tile. Rally gives willpower to allies at any range. Willpower. I need willpower. That's a good one. Yeah. One enemy down here, so I could walk. Nah, not exactly. So let me walk up here. Big man. Ah, now we're talking. So now I can walk into range and then I can attack with a basic attack. Dead. Okay, still not in range. But I could walk up here. Let's do again a stone wall. So if this dude attacks, nothing happened. And we will attack him with a normal attack. And use 1 willpower to increase the attack. Or 2 willpower. Because he has 6 strength and 2 shield. Strength is also life, so I need to deal 8 damage to kill him. Now we're talking. Attack this dude. 7 damage. Let's make it 8. Ah, now he has a special attack. Tempest. What's that move? No. Tempest. Strike adjacent enemies in a spin attack. There you go. So let's start with rank 1 normal strength damage to 2 adjacent enemies, going clockwise from target. Clockwise, so I need to target him. So when there is only 1 enemy left, it's pillage time, so the order is scrambled up. So I don't need to do anything, I can rest with him. And I could kill the last dude with him. Easy. Promotion. Yeah. There they are. Gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eirik is looking out the hall's windows onto the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well. Wagnir. Next for Val kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guest. See what I deal with all day long. Things makes a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the great hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? What is it? If you happened to stall our guests down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eirik and Valgard hustle from the meat house. To his credit, Eirik tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Oh, that's a big fleet. Who is arriving? Huh. Vognir. A familiar Varl steps onto the docks. In your mind you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. Gods, Ubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there is Vognir there, must be Hakon. Master. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Your Undre demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Gurofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Aberang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of man, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliance these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should give it a day. In better circumstances I drink a week away, but... let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Mogre? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mogre. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of man ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the great hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Vognir's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Click a talk icon. So I could talk to Hakon, or I could talk to the prince. I don't care about the Prince of Man. Let's talk to Hakon. Scrivener. You find Hakon in a meat house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. One straight for a flagon? Vognir is the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall. Anyway, you already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yox fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon let slip a low chuckle. Any Val could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swathe through Dredge at Vognir's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grovheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the meat house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. We could still talk to the prince. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl, who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you're with Vognir. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Vognir a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grovheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? Introduce myself. I hope to learn more. I have a habit of recording history. I mean, he has a feather in his hand. He's a tax collector, so maybe he's a bit of a historian too. So, I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might talk about your visit. A Val historian? Don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting at it throughout the cities. I've been on the road a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Vognir came to our capital in Arberang, and now we go to the Val's capital in Grovheim to cement this grand alliance for the next age of man and Val. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it, and it's damned cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. you take the opportunity to excuse yourself. So, I don't like the prince. Okay, it's only the beginning of the game, the first episode. So, I don't know Jack. But still, I don't like him. No. But that was episode number 1 of the Banner Saga. My name is Mr. Doktor. Thanks for watching. And we will see each other in the next one. Until then, goodbye.